Isn't that a great chair? Of course, you really can't get to be a neighbor till you're married.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Places in the world, that's not a problem. It's a way of life. And rights, they're liable to give you a blank stare because they may not know what you're talking about.
Jack Webb may have appeared calm and controlled on screen, but off camera he was a man who never concealed what he truly felt. Throughout his long career, he worked with countless actors, yet a select few pushed him past his breaking point. These weren't minor disagreements. They were explosive clashes driven by ego, pride, and Webb's unshakable demand for discipline. These were the people he didn't just dislike, he outright despised. And in this video, we reveal the 5 actors who earned Jack Webb's lasting resentment. John Randolph Jack Webb was born on April 2, 1920, in Santa Monica, but his early life was marked by hardship. Abandoned by his father before birth, he was raised by his mother and grandmother in Los Angeles' rough Bunker Hill neighborhood. Amid poverty and instability, Jack found comfort in creativity. At Belmont High School, he joined the radio club, discovered his gift for sound, and filled the yearbook with clever cartoons, earning admiration as both a talented artist and a natural leader. He eventually became student body president. After graduating, he studied art at St. John's University, but World War II changed everything. Webb enlisted in the Army Air Force hoping to become a pilot, only to fail flight training and serve instead as a clerk and typist before receiving a hardship discharge to support his family. Even so, performing in USO shows rekindled his passion for entertainment. Returning to civilian life, he took a wartime opening at ABC's KGO in San Francisco and launched the Jack Webb Show in 1946. Though he began with comedy, Webb quickly gravitated toward darker, more realistic storytelling. His breakthrough came with 1 Out of 7 and later with noir radio hits like Pat Novak for Hire, Johnny Madero, Jeff Reagan, Investigator, and Pete Kelly's Blues, where his hard-edged voice became unmistakable. Hollywood soon noticed. Roles in Sunset Boulevard and Dark City followed, but it was his steely performance as the uncompromising drill instructor in the DI that defined his on-screen identity and solidified the cold, disciplined image that became Jack Webb's trademark. Jack Webb eventually revealed the 5 actors he despised most. At the top of the list, William Conrad. Before Jack Webb ever appeared on television as the iconic Joe Friday, Dragnet was already a radio phenomenon. And the voice standing beside Webb wasn't Harry Morgan, it was William Conrad. Conrad's voice was legendary, powerful, resonant, perfectly tuned for drama. He helped launch Dragnet into national success. So when the TV version was announced, Conrad naturally assumed he'd be joining Webb on screen. He didn't. Instead, Webb cast himself in the lead role and hired a different actor for the second slot. Conrad was blindsided, stunned that the partner who helped build the franchise wasn't even considered. Rumor had it that William Conrad was never truly in the running for the TV version of Dragnet. Industry insiders claimed Webb dismissed him almost immediately. Some said Webb thought Conrad simply didn't look like a detective, too big, too rugged, not polished enough for television. Others insisted it was about control. By removing Conrad from the equation, Webb became the unchallenged center of the franchise, the face, the voice, the authority. Those close to Conrad said he felt deeply betrayed. He had helped build Dragnet from the ground up, only to be pushed aside when the show reached its greatest heights. Webb, for his part, almost never mentioned him again. Was it hatred? Maybe not. But it was cold, calculated, and undeniably personal. Acts like this shaped the industry's perception of Jack Webb for decades. A visionary, yes, but also a man who would cut anyone loose if they didn't fit the picture he had in his head. Number 2 was Richard Boone. Boone was already a heavyweight, respected, commanding, and the undeniable force behind Heck Ramsey during its 1972 to 1974 run. On screen, it looked like his show. Behind the curtain, though, the real power belonged to Jack Webb, whose company, Mark 7 Limited, co-produced the series. In the beginning, everything ran smoothly. Boone enjoyed the unusual Western meets detective style. But tension sparked the moment Webb tightened his grip, rewriting scripts without warning, firing longtime writers, and removing directors Boone trusted deeply. Boone erupted. He argued that Webb was gutting the heart of the show, the storytellers, just to impose his own rigid control. Rumors say Boone confronted Webb repeatedly, demanding creative respect. But compromise wasn't in Webb's vocabulary. He ran productions like military operations: order, discipline, loyalty, and no backtalk. Boone, emotional and fiercely independent, clashed with Webb's authoritarian style at every turn. The two simply weren't built to occupy the same space. Some sources claim Boone threatened to walk away. Others say Webb dismissed him as impossible to manage. What is certain is that by the final season, Heck Ramsey collapsed, not from lack of viewers, but from the silent war raging off camera. Call it hatred, call it ego, call it stubbornness. Whatever the label, Richard Boone became one of the rare actors who openly challenged Jack Webb, and he paid dearly for it. Number 3. Robert A. Senator. If Jack Webb was the steadfast face and unmistakable voice of Dragnet, then Robert A. Senator was the creative engine working beside him. Together, they built Adam, 12 and Emergency, two groundbreaking series that reshaped both police and medical dramas. But even the strongest creative partnerships can bend under the weight of too much control. Senator was rational, business-focused, and obsessed with accuracy, traits he shared with Webb. Yet Senator also valued emotional storytelling. He wanted characters who breathed, struggled, and evolved. Webb, however, didn't always see eye to eye with that vision. He favored tight structure, strict procedure, and minimal emotion. Their biggest conflict erupted during the development of Emergency. Senator pushed for deeper emotional arcs, moments where paramedics revealed fear, fatigue, and the human cost of their work. Webb rejected it outright. He insisted real emergency responders didn't break down, so the characters on his show shouldn't either. Crew members remembered tense script meetings, Senator arguing for humanity, Webb slashing entire sections of dialogue and repeating, realism first, drama second. Although they continued working together for many years, the partnership slowly shifted. Webb held the final authority. Senator adjusted, but he never fully agreed with the direction. It wasn't explosive hatred. It wasn't public. It was simply two strong creative forces pulling in opposite directions, one toward emotion, the other toward unyielding realism. Number 4. Harry Morgan. Harry Morgan and Jack Webb created one of television's most memorable partnerships. From 1967 onward, they embodied the steady, no-nonsense detectives Joe Friday and Bill Gannon. Their on-screen chemistry was smooth and natural, a big part of why Dragnet captivated viewers. But beneath the surface, things were more complicated. Morgan respected Webb deeply. He often spoke of Webb's sharp mind, his discipline, and his unwavering loyalty to the police. Yet he also admitted that working with Webb was unlike anything else he had experienced in his long career. Webb didn't rehearse. He didn't allow improvisation. He demanded that every line be spoken exactly as written, no extra emotion, no added flair, just a flat, factual delivery. That was his style, his trademark, and he expected everyone to follow it. Morgan came from a more expressive acting tradition. He enjoyed digging into a scene, shaping a moment, adding real human feeling to a line. But with Webb, there was no room for exploration. Every beat, every pause, every breath was predetermined. Some people on set even claimed Webb grew irritated whenever Morgan asked to redo a take. Webb wanted precision, not play. Some crew members recalled days when Webb refused to stop rolling, even when actors stumbled over their lines. For him, raw authenticity meant more than polished perfection. And yet, Harry Morgan never lost his temper, never stormed off set. His respect for Webb ran too deep. In one quiet interview, Morgan summed it up perfectly: Jack was a good man, but you had to do it his way. Completely his way. That single line tells the whole story. Number 5. The writers and directors. Jack Webb's clashes weren't limited to actors or producers. Jack Webb's most explosive clashes weren't with actors or producers. They came from within the creative engine of his shows. Writers and directors who tried to shape Dragnet and his other series often found themselves at war with Webb's unyielding standards. William C. Stroh, one of Dragnet's earliest directors, later admitted that working under Webb was nearly impossible. He recalled nights when Webb would phone him at 2 a.m., demanding immediate script changes and ordering him back to the studio, only for Webb to reverse his decisions a few hours later. Stroh described Webb as a brilliant but isolated man, someone who clung to control as if it were a lifeline. For writers, things were even tougher. Webb had a reputation for firing people without warning, especially if scripts ran late, leaned too emotional, or strayed even slightly from real police procedure. One writer summed it up with dark humor: "You don't work for Jack Webb. You survive him." Improvisation. Forbidden. Jokes. Cut. Scenes that made characters too human or too vulnerable. Deleted. Actors weren't encouraged to interpret their roles, only to recite them, clean and flat, exactly as written. Some creatives walked away voluntarily. Others were pushed out. A few never collaborated with Webb again, and they made sure Hollywood knew the reason. Yet, despite the casualties, Webb's strictness had its origin story. His journey toward legendary status began with a small but pivotal part in the 1948 thriller He Walked by Night. Playing a meticulous crime lab technician, Webb absorbed the film's gritty realism and technical accuracy. That experience, combined with guidance from LAPD Sergeant Marty Wynn and Chief William H. Parker, ignited an idea that would reshape the police drama forever: Dragnet. When Dragnet debuted on radio in 1949, and later on television in 1952, it introduced something American entertainment had never seen before: uncompromising authenticity. Webb, portraying the stoic Sergeant Joe Friday, made it his mission to show law enforcement officers not as stereotypes or corrupt villains, but as diligent, underpaid, often overlooked public servants. Each episode began with a now legendary line: "The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent." Driven by Webb's relentless obsession with detail, Dragnet became nothing less than a revolution in storytelling. From the echo of footsteps in police halls to the precise phrasing pulled straight from LAPD case files, Dragnet delivered a level of documentary-style realism that audiences had never experienced. It ran for nearly 10 years and cemented itself as one of the most influential shows in television history. Yet even while Dragnet defined his career, Jack Webb continued exploring other artistic passions. In 1955, he poured his love of jazz into Pete Kelly's Blues, portraying a cornet player trapped between crime and music. The film wasn't a commercial hit, but it revealed an unexpected side of Webb, an artist driven not only by facts and procedure, but by sound, rhythm, and mood. By the early 1960s, Webb had stepped more firmly behind the camera, producing and narrating the anthology series G.E. True. And although some of his later television ventures faltered, his impact on American pop culture never faded. Webb altered the crime genre not with flashy action or sensationalism, but with a quiet devotion to truth and to the everyday heroes who lived it. After parting ways with Warner Brothers in the early 60s, Webb returned to the creative energy that had sparked his early success: storytelling rooted in authenticity and respect for law enforcement. By 1966, he was preparing to revive his most iconic work, Dragnet. With Harry Morgan stepping in as Officer Bill Gannon, Webb reintroduced Sergeant Joe Friday to television in 1967. Determined to connect the traditional Los Angeles of the past with the turbulent, fast-changing city of the late 60s, Webb titled each season after the year: Dragnet 1967, Dragnet 1968, and so on. The revival confronted real social challenges: drug abuse, rebellious youth culture, and everyday crime prevention. At times the show felt outdated, but its intentions remained clear, portraying police as steady, moral, and human. Webb's success rolled forward with the launch of Adam, 12 in 1968, created alongside Robert A. Senator and starring Martin Milner and Kent McCord. The series followed two LAPD patrol officers navigating the streets of Los Angeles, and its mix of action and realism turned it into another long-running hit. For many viewers, Adam, 12 became the definitive window into what police work truly looked like. That same year, Webb revealed a rare flash of humor during his famous Copper Clapper Caper sketch with Johnny Carson. In that moment, breaking into laughter, audiences saw the warmth hidden beneath his famously unshakable deadpan exterior. Then came 1972, when Webb and Senator launched another enduring success, Emergency, starring Julie London and Bobby Troup. The series spotlighted the critical work of paramedics and hospital teams, raising national awareness about emergency medical services and even influencing public policy. Running until 1977, Emergency became Webb's final major victory, a series that balanced drama, realism, and purpose with uncanny precision. Though Jack Webb's later shows, Heck Ramsey, Project UFO, and others, drew only modest viewership, his creative spark never truly faded. Beneath the rigid, stone-faced persona he displayed on screen lived a man whose greatest love wasn't fame, nor even television, it was music. Off-camera, Webb was a devoted jazz enthusiast, owning a legendary collection rumored to exceed 6,000 records. To him, jazz wasn't a hobby. It was sanctuary. It was rhythm, escape, and freedom from the hard edges of scripts, deadlines, and the endless world of police dramas. Webb's passion ran so deep that he even recorded a few tracks himself, most famously a deadpan rendition of Try a Little Tenderness, which later gained a cult following for its unusual charm. It was within the world of smoky jazz clubs and quiet melodies that Jack met singer and actress Julie London.